When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. 7 years after helping lead the Raptors to their first and only NBA championship, Kawhi Leonard likely heading back to Toronto. ESPN's Shams Charania reports the Clippers nearing a deal to send Leonard to the Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, a pick swap, and 2 second-rounders. Now that LeBron James has told the Lakers he'll play elsewhere this upcoming NBA season, the Warriors plan to pursue the 41-year-old once the free agent window opens in 2 hours. Cavaliers and Heat also expected to be in the James sweepstakes. No LeBron means the Lakers now have some salary cap space to use. ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They have Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. These are 2 excellent players to begin your build around. But LeBron averaged 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists last year. You have to replace that and then to try to add to it. So you have $52 million, but you have $52 million where the best free agents are LeBron, and the next 3 are restricted.
Panthers acquired Devils goalie Jacob Markstrom, allowing 2-time Stanley Cup champion Sergei Bobrovsky to hit NHL free agency, which gets underway tomorrow.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday, we'll get you ready for one of the biggest moments in U.S. men's soccer history as they get ready to face Bosnia in the round of 32. It's on Sportsman, like 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running, welcome in. After further review here on a Tuesday, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona for the foreseeable future. Actually, Scone's going to be out for a while, but he'll be back. He's up in New York City this week and then heads off to vacation the week after that. So you got me for the majority of July here on AFR. Braxton Rizzuto, Cassie Spazzali along for the ride, and glad that you are as well. While Matt heads out on trips, I just got back from one. Pretty eventful. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later on, but we got a lot to do here as we close out the month of June. Got big recruiting updates coming, really starting tomorrow. Shea Dixon, quick programming note, has to bump to tomorrow, but we'll dive into some of what we should look forward to this week with LSU recruiting and then catch up with Shea on Wednesday. Some really interesting metrics out today about Sam Levitt, so we'll dive into that as well. NBA free agency starts in 2 hours. We'll get a primer with Jake Madison of Locked On Pels, what to expect maybe here from the Pelicans offseason now that the NBA draft is in the rear view. A potential free agent signing still on the board for the New Orleans Saints. Just a ton to get to here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. It's my Monday, but let us begin as we do every single week.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, and we will start with the recruiting. So, as you know, recruiting dead period right now. Official visits have all wrapped up, so now you enter the dead period. This is also where you end up seeing plenty of commitments. And Wednesday, July 1st, is a massive day for announcements. In fact, Rivals has a 3-hour special or so on their YouTube channel Wednesday that's just commitment announcements. They're calling it Rivals Summer Signing Day. So I guess technically now we have 3 signing days, right? You had summer and the traditional and all of that. So that gets started at 11 a.m. Wednesday and runs until we come on air at 3 p.m. So it's a full day. And LSU is expecting some pretty good news on Wednesday in the form of Jaden Andy. So he is part of the 4-hour live special who announced on the Rivals YouTube channel. And if you're unfamiliar with Jaden Andy, 4-star safety out of Ruston. His brother Aiden is on LSU's football team currently. Kansas State will have a hat on the table as well. But from all accounts, this is now an LSU Ole Miss battle with LSU trending to land the commitment of Andy for a lot of different reasons, right? I mean, obviously you can look at his brother being on the team. They obviously played together in high school, chance to play together in college. That matters. But something I was actually looking forward to talking with Shay about today that we won't get the chance is just the relationship that the Andy family has with LSU's staff and how long both brothers have been on the radar of the staff, given, Aiden already being with the Tigers. But it's kind of a unique thing because while they both play in the defensive secondary, they obviously played different positions in high school and were recruited to different positions at LSU. So when you look at Aiden Anding, his primary recruiter when he came out of high school was Corey Raymond because he came out as a cornerback. We all know the impact that Corey Raymond has on the recruiting trail with players, with families, with all of it. It's well documented. Well, with Jaden Anding being a safety, his primary recruiter has been Jake Olson. So that is a family that has heard pitches and formed relationships with every corner and angle of LSU staff, position coach-wise, that coaches the secondary. That's massive, and that normally doesn't, it feels rare, right? Like that just feels rare. Sometimes you see brothers go elsewhere. Sometimes you see brothers on different sides of the football. But to have two guys in the defensive secondary playing different positions and getting the full force of the weight of that behind the recruitment, that's interesting. So that's something that's definitely working in the favor there. So it's a big family pull there as you would expect. Of course, he's a top 25 safety nationally, top 10 prospect in Louisiana, regardless of position. All of those things, 4-star that you would expect to see out of the state of Louisiana and trending towards LSU secondary. So good news is expected there, obviously. Now, that's Andy. You push forward to Thursday and July 2nd, and summer signing day continues in a sense. And that's where you find North Carolina's Davion Jones. Remember, if you're unfamiliar, Shay's talked about Davion Jones plenty on this show in his weekly appearances and will again when he's with us on Wednesday. Jones is a teammate of the nation's number one cornerback, Joshua Dobson. Both were on LSU's radar. When Dobson and LSU decided to go different ways in their recruitment, all the attention really focused in on Davion Jones. I know Shay had a write-up earlier at On 3. He mentioned, while Corey Raymond canceled his trip to go see Dobson, Jake Olson and Blake Baker still kept theirs and went up there and saw Davion Jones. This one's whittled down to LSU, South Carolina. South Carolina got the last official visit a weekend ago. He did make an OV to LSU, as we know, and we've talked about here. But the interesting thing is he's moved his commitment date up. This was supposed to be towards the end of July. It will now be July 2nd. And in moving that up, or I should say, when he made the decision to move it up, there's a lot of smoke around LSU in the recruitment in Davion Jones, which, what does Shay say here all the time? He says it here on this show. Says it probably anywhere he goes. I know he's told Hanny and I this on Eagle Game Day plenty. When it comes to recruiting, watch what they do, not what they say. Well, when there's smoke around one team and that guy moves his decision date up, it lends you to believe that a decision has already been made there and he's ready to make it public now. So that's another one that you feel really good about with LSU there. So, you're looking at 2 4-star safety targets for LSU that they're expecting big announcements from here this week, starting with Aiden Anding on Wednesday. For what it's worth, with Jones, it's not just Shay's prediction. Chad Simmons, who's a national recruiting analyst, put a rivals prediction in for Davion Jones to LSU and had it at 95%. So that's massive there. And again, great job for great job by Jake Olson and staff really honing in on this. So, again, 4-star, highly ranked, all of those guys. What's going to be interesting over the next couple of days is LSU will have hats on the table for others, guys that we've mentioned, guys that have taken OVs. Maybe you get a surprise here or there, but it certainly seems like Andy and Jones, those are the two guys to really watch over the next 2 days to expect good news for LSU. And look, the Tigers have been on an absolute heater on the recruiting trail, really at all positions, even corner. Safety's kind of been the spot where you haven't seen them pop one yet. That certainly seems like it's about to change here in the next 24 hours or so when it gets underway with Jaden Anding's announcement on Wednesday. We'll keep you posted. Shay will be here with us on Wednesday's show to react to everything, preview Davion Jones, where LSU goes next at multiple positions, because you saw, of course, late Friday, Albert Simeon pops for Notre Dame. Well, the way LSU's kind of structured this offensive line class and whatnot, where might they go next? Where do they stand for the multiple targets that they're attempting to flip? Like a Jalen Brewster from Texas Tech. That's on the defensive side, but they've got plenty of guys they're in on in the flip game too. So we'll get a full update on all of that tomorrow when Shay's with us. But that's just a primer there for you for the announcements and the good news expected for LSU. All right, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. We'll continue to talk some Tiger football. Some pretty interesting metrics dropping over at On3 about Sam Leavitt and how it might kind of show you where he fits best in this Lane Kiffin offense as training camp and the season opener, September, against Clemson, fast approaches. We'll get into that next here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Yes, hormone replacement therapy. Yes, NAD+. Yes, BPC 157. Yes, ED treatment. The bottom line is, gentlemen, I don't care how old you are. It's about how old you feel, and do you want to feel like you did when you were younger? Do you want to live a more vital life? Do you want to live a more energetic life, where you wake up in the morning, your feet hit the floor, and you're rip-roaring ready to go, where you're motivated to get in the gym, where you have a great libido, where you have great mindset, energy, mental clarity, memory, all that sort of stuff? It's possible. It's affordable. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help you do it. Hormone replacement therapy could be a giant part of that for you. NAD Plus can literally help your cellular optimization to make you younger at a cellular level. BPC 157, tremendous in helping in recovery. Learn more. yourgoodwood.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Summer is here. Maybe you're looking to upgrade that ride before the family road trip. Get on by South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, or online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. Told you for years, they're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Maybe you need that full-size family SUV. Make sure you go test drive the Atlas. That's what Erica drives. It's the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. Tons of space to accommodate our family, all our bags, all the beach stuff as well. Go test drive one today at South Point Volkswagen. Remember, you can shop them online, new and certified pre-owned. So if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, great selection. Say it all the time. They're the largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They move more new inventory, so they have more pre-owned trade-in inventory as well. So make sure you shop their pre-owned vehicles over at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
All right, back here after further review on a Tuesday presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. It is June 30th, which means it is just talking season when it comes to football. I mean, NFL alike. College, NFL, doesn't matter. You're breaking down schedules. You're looking at who's got the best odds to win the Super Bowl or the college football playoff, all of those things. And it's lists and all of that. What we tend to try to do is find pieces that center around metrics. There's a really good one from Clark Brooks over at On 3 today about LSU's quarterback, Sam Levitt. So a brief background on what this is. This is Clark Brooks's quarterback impact study. He's done this over a few years now, and what it basically is it looks at the metrics that matter against the opponents that are the best. Looking at a quarterback's metrics, performance, all of that against the best opponents that he faced. And there's a ranking structure to it based on what these quarterbacks' metrics spit out and all of that. And he's been releasing these really kind of like one at a time. It isn't just a full list. Like earlier you saw Gunnar Stockton today. A little bit later on the day, Sam Levitt. That's what we obviously want to focus in on here is Sam Levitt, which, by the way, he was impact quarterback number 2 in this. So Clark Brooks, while there is some negative in what the film and the metrics and all that showed for Levitt a year ago, albeit small sample size, injury-riddled season as well, him coming in as impact quarterback number 2 shows obviously a lot of upside, and it really gives you, this really paints a nice picture of how he can fit and where he can really excel in Lane Kiffin's offense. So if we're just looking at his impact study grades, overall it was a B+, but his ceiling, A-. You get A- Sam Levitt. He plays up to his ceiling this year. You're really going to like where LSU ends up. That's me stating the obvious. Yes, I know. But what's super encouraging is while the ceiling's an A-, the floor came out rated B. And overall, he's B+. So it shows you a lot of untapped potential there as well. The things that you would expect to stand out did, his accuracy, his mobility, his arm, the processing, and his ability to handle pressure, those were really the low points. Let's actually start there. Let's start with the low points, and I'll be as concise as I can with this. The majority of the low points that Clark Brooks highlights in this piece with the metrics come with Sam Leavitt playing in structure. The drop back passing game just isn't quite where you wanted it to be. 2024 to a degree, but definitely in 2025. He notes he's not as potent. The accuracy remained, but there was an uptick in interceptables. Things were, short of the sticks. Plus the success rate for Sam Leavitt in structure landed on the backside of the impact average. And Clark Brooks noted that's for the second straight season. So including 2024. So obviously in efficiency in structure, that's an area that he really needs to improve. The potential is there. Like, he has the skills to do it. But throws come in short of the sticks. His gaze, vision kind of gets out of whack a little bit, which Clark Brooks notes. Does that raise some concern for the full field reads that come along with Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss's offense, and trying to squeeze a few throws there? He notes, though, that it's not going to impact, like, while those concerns are there, I think of a better way to say this, while those concerns are there, they're minimized because of the success with screens, RPOs, play actions, all of that. But, again, the concern comes because his accuracy has remained, which, what did we say earlier, was like an A or a B plus. It was one of his best tools. The problem is really the decision-making, the vision, getting through reads, pre-snap leverage, all of those things where more interceptables come in. It's throws that end up short of the sticks, a single-digit explosive pass rate, and that's with the terrific placement of the football. Down-to-down consistency is where it needs to improve there. That's the bad. But the good in these metrics that Clark Brooks put out today far outweigh the bad. Let's start with play action. It is where Leavitt excels probably the most. He's able to turn his back, flip around, and really find his target in stride, deliver the accurate ball. Over the last two impact studies, in terms of explosive to interceptable ratio, when talking about play action, it is 19-1. 19 explosive plays to 1 interceptable throw. That's fantastic. And if you're wondering, man, how does that fit into Lane Kiffin's offense? Flawlessly. Lane Kiffin's offense has had a play action rate of over 30% for 3 straight seasons. So you're taking one of Sam Leavitt's greatest skills and plugging it into an offense that features that at such a high level. On top of that, you look at the accuracy in throwing the ball downfield. So you got to remember, Sam Leavitt doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not the biggest guy. Stature-wise, he's, that's actually part of what's maybe hurt some of his vision and things of that nature. But it's the accuracy on the throws that cancels that out. And look, he's got the arm strength in there to get it 50 yards downfield and things of that nature. But if you're just looking at this metric that throughout this is each of the last 2 impact studies on Sam Leavitt, depth adjusted accuracy. So what that is, that applies more weight to throws further down the field. In each of the last 2 impact studies, his accurate depth adjusted accuracy cracked 59%. And his percentage this year of 59.2 in this impact study was the best among all Power 4 quarterbacks. So again, you factor that into play action, his ability there, the accuracy down the field, and Lane Kiffin's willingness and love, as a matter of fact, to use it and call it. That's massive going forward for Sam Leavitt here. Now, what's the other thing we've heard Lane Kiffin talk about so much with Sam Leavitt? We started this with his struggles in structure. But what Lane Kiffin has talked about so much, what is it? It's his ability when the play breaks down, out of structure plays. And the arm accuracy goes into that as well. Him being able to escape and look downfield, that's creating a bunch of explosive plays for him as well. It's in here in that metric. But the really good thing is the mobility and the pressure. So Leavitt was one of three Power 4 quarterbacks examined for this impact analysis. One of 3 to bring a +9 yard per average and +60% success rate on scrambles in this study. It speaks to his ability to really go when the play breaks down, something that Lane Kiffin has gushed about. And furthermore, when Lane Kiffin has talked about what he's looking for in a quarterback, the ability that the quarterback has to have to make those off-play schedules, specifically in the game of football, but in his offense as well. At the time of his injury, no player in college football commanded a better EPA per run than Sam Leavitt, and half of his designed runs resulted in a set of first downs or a set of fresh downs, or 6 points or touchdowns. First downs or touchdowns. Half of his designed runs. Play action, mobility, he excels there. And it's not just the run again, it is the explosive play down the field where you look at this and having the green light to look down, almost a quarter of his attempts on the run down the field netted at least 20 yards. There is a lot of explosiveness in there. I recommend going and read through the entire piece. It's free over at On3, and I mean you can look through all the other ones, Gunnar Stockton, all the other ones that he's put forth, and see how Leavitt stacks up. But the thing I take from that is, all right, what we've heard Lane Kiffin preach about his offense, what we've watched in Lane Kiffin's offense, Sam Leavitt does very well. I look at Lane Kiffin's offense, I say, yes, it's a lot to take in, but man, it also just has always been really quarterback friendly, knowing where to go with the ball. When Sam Leavitt knows where to go with the ball, his accuracy, he can get it there, no problem. Downfield, short, anyway. You could look at them, ask him to do more of that early in the season to get him comfortable. Because again, this is a guy who missed the majority of spring. Now, he's dunking in the goalpost. He's fully cleared. All of that, that's great. And fall camp's going to be huge for him. But when you look at LSU early in the season, when you face Clemson, when you have to go to Ole Miss, you're going to see them really accentuate Sam Leavitt's strength because it's going to give them the best chance to win, and it's what he's the best at. And later in the year, that's where when you get to November, and hopefully you're playing for an awful lot in November, hopefully that's when you can start to see the improvements in the drop back passing, in him playing more in structure. This is a guy who's got 2 years. It's his first year in a new system, misprint, all of those things. It stands to reason there's going to be some type of growing pains. There always is. Joe Burrow, you go back to there, 2018. First year as a starter, it was a slow build. But once you got to November, man, light bulb went off for Joey B, and that's when you really started to see him turn into the player that he became at LSU. Jaden Daniels. Go back to the Tennessee game. Jaden's first season as the starter, that 11 a.m. kickoff. And that's when the narrative was, man, he won't throw the ball down the field. He won't push the ball down the field. The very next week at Florida, you see him push the ball down the field, and he really starts to develop into that player. That Tennessee game was early in the year. Midway through, you started to see the signs, and then very next season, bam, Heisman Trophy. I'm not telling you that Sam Leavitt's going to win the Heisman Trophy this year. I'm saying look for him to potentially follow a similar path, but for LSU and Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss to really exploit and hone in on what he does extremely well early while developing and working those other facets of his game to really help him improve to where you get to November and, man, maybe you look up and you see a much more polished player in the pocket and in structure than what you've seen at Arizona State for 2 seasons before he gets here. And again, given his lack of reps in spring, it stands to reason that that's just a normal timeline that you would probably see. But number 2 impact quarterback in these metrics, when you combine them all, for Clark Brooks at On3. That's not an opinion. That's objective data. And that's really encouraging, especially when you quantify that with what Lane Kiffin does in his offense. Sam Levitt should be a very, 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 very impactful player for LSU this year, and he's going to have to be for them to reach the heights that they want to. Clemson, week 1. It gets closer and closer and closer. As I think we're 77 days now from the opener for LSU. Sam Levitt will be out there. It'll be very interesting to see how the early season goes for him. All right, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. We'll go around the SEC. Walter Camp, we mentioned talking season. They're the first batch of preseason All-Americans. LSU landed a couple on that. We'll tell you about that as we go along here. Around the SEC is next on AFR, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources. If you are a business owner, if you're an HR manager, a VP, an ops manager, if you're the person in charge of hiring at your job, at your place of business, and you're having trouble finding the right people, you need Glow Resources. Now, I want to remind you, Glow Resources, they're exceptional when it comes to skilled blue-collar workers and also white-collar divisions. Remember, Glow Resources has a full professional placement division. So we're talking about office administrators, executive-level assistants, assistant controllers, plant managers, scheduling assistants, basically any type of office job. Accounting, HR, marketing, managerial, supervisor roles. If you're having trouble finding those people and sometimes hard to fill roles, Glow Resources specialize. They recruit nationwide. For example, they had a Baton Rouge company that was looking for an engineer. They found the employee in Florida to work the job in California. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online today. GLO, glowresources.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Tell you every day, better coverage for less money. And man, my friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana are crushing it for Louisianians on their auto insurance right now. Listen, if you have not had anyone shop for your auto insurance lately, you got to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. My goodness. They got some top-rated companies, Geico, Progressive. They're doing awesome work right now. This was an amazing story that I heard. They wrote one last week, saved the client $2,911 annually. They had a high auto rate with State Farm. They smashed it with Geico. They had another one save $1,476 annually with Progressive. They had Allstate and switched. Y'all, I tell you all the time, if you're just auto-renewing your insurance, man, you're probably overpaying and you're underinsured. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana help. lainsurance.net.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Rolling along here, AFR, after further review on a Tuesday edition. Musso in for Moscona. Scone's in NYC this week. And then we are off on Friday for the 4th of July. So you have us here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll be back on Monday to continue a full week there of AFR. Been a good show so far. A lot of LSU football here as they have some recruiting announcements coming up starting on Wednesday. And we just wrapped up a really good chat about Sam Levitt and expectations in his fit and lane Kiffin's offense with some metrics that On3 released earlier today. Plenty more to do here on today's show. But for now, we'll go ahead and go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia has landed right-handed pitcher Riley Goodman out of the transfer portal. He comes from the University of South Carolina. Fifth right-handed pitcher commit for Georgia out of the portal. Swing player kind of for the Gamecocks pitching staff in 2026. Made 7 starts, including the opening day start, as a matter of fact. Pitched in 12 games, 22 innings, 25 hitters struck out in those 25 innings pitched. He'll head to Athens.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
More SEC transfers here. Manny Marin has transferred from Tennessee to Arkansas. Starting shortstop for the Vols a year ago. .976 fielding percentage in 52 starts at short. Just 5 errors, 291, 9 homers, and 43 RBI. He is a draft-eligible sophomore, so he could be picked in this July's draft. If not, he will head to Arkansas. Those are his 2 options, professional baseball or Arkansas. So Hogs and Dave Van Horn got themselves a pretty good defensive shortstop there in Manny Marin.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
South Carolina has also landed an SEC baseball transfer. This one, former Auburn outfielder Bristol Carter. He announced that news Monday evening on social media. Became South Carolina's 3rd transfer edition on Monday, as a matter of fact. He'll have 2 years of eligibility remaining due to the new age guidelines there for the NCAA. Started his career at East Carolina, spent the last 2 seasons at Auburn. In his 3 years, 298, 6 homers, 69 RBIs. Great versatility, though. He's played all 3 outfield spots at the collegiate level. A career .985 fielder, just 4 errors in 155 games. He heads to South Carolina.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Mississippi State has flipped Tupelo linebacker Devontre Brewer. They flipped him from Stanford. He committed to the Cardinal earlier in the month. A 3-star linebacker by all 3 major recruiting services. Rated by Rivals as the number 16 overall recruit in the state of Mississippi for the class of 2027. He was with Stanford. He will now be a Bulldog.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
And Oklahoma, they have rescheduled their season opener against UTEP to Friday, September 4th at 7 p.m. Central. Game was originally scheduled for Saturday, September the 5th, but they opted to move the game to Friday night because they wanted it to be a night game. This is a real LSU move right here, quite honestly. If the game had stayed on Saturday, it likely would have been given an early kickoff. They preferred the night game, so they move it to Friday at 7 p.m. Also, it gives them an extra day of preparation and recovery for their trip up to Michigan in week number 2. So instead of beating the snot out of UTEP on Saturday, September 4th, Oklahoma will beat the snot out of the UTEP Miners on Friday, September 4th. There you have it. That is around the SEC. It's After Further Review, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. Gotta admire it, man. Just finding creative ways to get to get night games up there in Norman. Again, kind of right out of the LSU playbook there. We prefer to give our fans a night game, and we're just going to move it to Friday. You got an opening for us, ESPN? Hey, ESPN, you got an opening for the University of Oklahoma? Yeah? Got that in your wheelhouse? All right, cool. We're going to move the game then. It's going to be at night. let the Sooner fans get all riled up and go out there and watch them just absolutely destroy UTEP. Maybe since LSU hates playing day games in September, maybe they can pull some of that a little bit. Doubt it because, TV windows and whatnot, but maybe. Imagine if LSU would have just been like, you know what, UCLA, let's just play that on a Friday instead of the Saturday. Let's move it to a Friday, and it won't be, 135 degrees and half the stadium won't pass out. Keep an eye on that in the future, maybe. LSU, write that one down. All right, we're due for a top of the hour break here, or go into the last segment break. But first, a word from Matt on Our Lady of the Lake.
Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, as we say, together we roar. Part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System. And, I love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake because whenever we talk about healthcare, Our Lady of the Lake understands the two things primarily that people want are access and convenience. And they knock that out of the park. Whether it be at the regional medical center, if it's the lake after hours, if it's any of the specialty services that you may need, heart, stroke, cancer, pediatrics, you want the best. You want Our Lady of the Lake. You can learn more about the Championship Health Partnership, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar.
All right, we're going to get to the Walter Camp preseason All-Americans here in the next segment. Plenty more to get to. Y'all realize that we are 11 days away from the Major League Baseball draft? Just 11 days away. That gets underway Saturday, July 11th at 1 p.m. First 4 rounds, and then 5 through 20 the next day on Sunday, and then MLB All-Star Week gets underway. We are 11 days away. We have an updated mock draft that I want to get to for Major League Baseball. I'll give you some LSU thoughts there, the flavor in there as well, risers, movers, all those types of things, signees and otherwise for LSU. So we'll do that at the bottom of hour number 2. So make sure you're here for that. And it's an extensive mock. I mean, it is a full 2-round mock with competitive balance rounds in there as well. It's 75 picks. So it's one of the more expansive that we've been able to see so far. So I do want to go through that. NBA free agency officially gets underway in about an hour and 15 minutes or so right here. So Jake Madison will be here at 4:15. Give us a primer what to expect for the New Orleans Pelicans as Jamal Mosley and Joe Dumars look to remake that roster and get it to a place where hopefully it can compete for some type of postseason action. They certainly have a lot of players. And then tease it a little bit at the top of the show. Do it again. Is there one more potential free agent that the Saints could add between now and training camp? We'll tell you who that is and talk about that a little bit later on in the show as well. Right now, we'll grab a break, come back on the other side. We will close out hour number 1 of AFR. Looking at some preseason All-Americans. A couple interesting names on there for LSU. Talk about that next here to close it out.
After further review.
DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com. Go to DuplessisPools.com and start building your dream pool today. DuplessisPools.com. Hat tip to my friend Derek Duplessis and the great staff, as for the second consecutive year, Duplessis Pools was named a top 50 pool builder in America by Pool and Spa magazine. As a matter of fact, Duplessis Pools was the only pool builder in the state of Louisiana to receive that honor. DuplessisPools.com is the website, DuplessisPools.com. Yesterday was awesome. Me, Erica, Drew spent part of our Sunday cooling off in the pool. Might have had a cold Bud Light or two. It's a great way to spend those summer days. Great way to have parties, showpiece. That dream can be your reality as well. But start at DuplessisPools.com. You can design your pool online. You can finance it online. Pay for it right now. It's DuplessisPools.com. Check them out online. It's DuplessisPools.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
My name's Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 2025 Ram 1500 truck with $18,000 off MSRP plus 3.9% financing for 60 months. $18,000 off plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You know, when we talk about Relief Windows every day, I always say windows, doors, siding, and now shutters as well. They do your indoor shutters. Same thing as the windows. Custom made, measured to fit your windows, custom fit for your windows, lifetime warranty on your windows, your shutters. But Brandon, you often hear say their number one product is customer satisfaction. And that's not just a catchy line. That's not a cliche phrase. Have an experience with Relief Windows and you'll understand. They go to the ends of the earth to make sure their customers are thrilled with the work they do. As a matter of fact, Relief Windows never takes $1 from you. You will not, no deposit, no down payment. They take all the risk. They will not take $1 until you're thrilled with the work they do. Who else does that? Only Relief Windows. Check them out online at ReliefWindows.com.
All right, wrapping up hour number one here of AFR on a Tuesday. Musso in for Moscona. Talking season, full effect. College football, NFL too, but we're focusing on college right here. And we have our first batch of preseason All-Americans. Yes, on June 30th, we have our first batch of preseason. We are 77 days away from week one openers, obviously a little bit closer to week 0. But we have our first batch of preseason All-Americans. They come from Walter Camp, and there is some LSU flavor here on this list. You go to the you start with the first team. One LSU player lands on the first team. You can probably guess who it is. That's Trey Green as the first team tight end. Man, there are certain years when you go into a season and it's just like, man, it's that player's time. Right? You can really pick and choose and go, all right, breakout season coming for that guy. Sometimes that lives up to expectations. Sometimes, obviously, it doesn't. And there's a lot of guys on LSU's team this year that you could really point to and say that. I think many would look at Harlan Berry and say, okay, man, the way he ended the season a year ago by really taking hold of that running back one role, you look at what Lane Kiffin was able to do with Kejuan Lacey, could be time for Harlan Berry. But all the players you look through with this and you go, okay, man, it's there. I don't know if there's been one that just jumps off the page more than Trey Green. This is a guy who a quarter of his receptions in 2 seasons at LSU, a quarter of his receptions in his 2 seasons at LSU have gone for 6 points. They've been touchdowns, a quarter of them. And what you saw a year ago from Trey Green was obviously an expanded role. I mean, the guy went from 13 receptions as a freshman to 33 receptions as a sophomore. But in doing so, you saw the big playability from him too. Everyone likes to make the joke about, oh, yeah, he's 6'7". Have you heard Trey Green is 6'7"? Because everyone, just gushes about that because, my goodness, it's a 6'7" freak of nature out there at the tight end position. But what you really were able to saw was the athletic ability that goes along with that, the speed, all of that, and the big play aspect. 7 touchdowns led LSU's teams. His long was 42 yards. You put that into the Lane Kiffin offense, which tight ends have excelled in, especially the last 2 seasons at Ole Miss. Go back to 2024. It was Caden Priest-Corn and Daquan Wright. And in 2024, those two combined for 54 receptions, 795 yards to go along with a combined 7 touchdowns, which Trey Green had on his own a year ago, by the way. You go to just last year, and we look at Daquan Wright's production in Lane Kiffin's offense. 39 receptions, 635 yards, and 5 scores. Explosive plays as well, a long of 64. Trey Green obviously has that ability. He averaged 13 yards per reception a year with a long of 42. For all the guys that we've looked at in the preseason and been like, it's their time, year 3, breakout season coming. I don't know if you can really see it more clearly than you can with a guy like Trey Green. Provided he's healthy, expect a massive year. This will not be the only preseason All-American list you see him land on the first team, and I'm betting if he's healthy and the production is what we think it's going to be and can really project it to be given what we've seen in Lane Kiffin's offense and without, you're going to see him a lot of postseason first-team All-American list as well. And potentially hear his name called day 1 of the draft next April. Could just be an absolute massive season. So congratulations to Trey Green there. You go to the second team, that's where you find the next LSU Tiger, and that is Jordan Seaton, your left tackle. Second team All-American by Walter Camp. The left side of LSU's line feels like it's just going to be really, really, really strong. I'm very curious to see how Seaton fits in there. I mean, by all accounts, he looked great in the spring. The shape he's gotten himself into. Talk about a projected first-round draft pick come next April. I mean, he's on all of those lists here in the summer leading into that draft. You got a long way to go, but that's the ceiling from him. And, you look at the left side of your line. I mean, Bo Bordelon really took hold of that left guard spot there in the spring. We'll see if that really continues here in the fall and whatnot. But Seaton definitely looking to be an anchor there. I mean, you went out and got 2 high-priced guys in Levitt and Seaton at your 2 top positions, your 2 most important positions really on offense, left tackle and quarterback, and Jordan Seaton raking in the preseason honors as well. So congratulations to he and Trey Green, first team All-American for Green, second team All-American for Jordan Seaton respectively. You're going to continue to see those guys' names pop up there, both primed for massive seasons in their draft year for LSU. All right, due for a top of the hour break here, but first, Matt, with a word on First South Farm Credit.
First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Hey, remember, always encourage you to go to the website, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. If you're a farmer, no doubt you know about First South Farm Credit because they've been helping farmers buy agriculture land for more than 100 years. But if it's maybe it's that hunting property. Maybe it's just your recreational property in Mississippi. Maybe you want to go buy a ranch in Montana. They can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. Buying land is different than buying a home. You know that. So trust the people who have helped Louisianans buy land for more than 100 years. First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. One more time, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit.
All right, that's just about 1 hour in the books here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. Flew by, a lot of football talk. We're actually going to continue the football talk when we get back. I want to talk about LSU's schedule a little bit. And it was kind of strange the way I stumbled upon this today. But I feel like I just have a vastly different opinion of LSU schedule than everybody else. So we'll do that after SportsCenter gets you caught up on national headlines. Hour 2 is next.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Supper Club. You can book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. One of the things about Supper Club that I love is if you want to go to Supper Club and be a baller, you can do it. You want to go to Supper Club and order a $5,000 bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, you can do it. You want to go have $400 shots of cognac, you can do it. You can have experiences at Supper Club that usually are reserved for Las Vegas and New York and Paris and Abu Dhabi. Like, that's here in Baton Rouge. But the thing you got to remember as well, if you want to go to Supper Club and have the best steak of your life and have a few appetizers, a dessert, bottle of wine, you can do it as affordably as any other restaurant in town. But the experience at Supper Club is unmatched. Introduced open seating at the bar, first come, first serve. So if you knock off of work, you want to head by Supper Club, you can walk in without a reservation, see if you can grab a bar stool or a table by the bar as well. Have a great dinner, maybe cocktail, close some business. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team
that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking NBA news. The Clippers nearing agreement to trade Kawhi Leonard to the Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, and 2 second-rounders. A return to Toronto for Leonard, who led the Raptors to their first and only NBA title in 2019. There are 3 reasons Kawhi is willing to go back to Toronto, explains ESPN's Shams Charania.
One is the familiarity with the Toronto Raptors organization, the city of Toronto as well, and the ability now to go to the Raptors and contend in the Eastern Conference and to be able to say that I ended my career with the Raptors after playing for the Clippers and the Spurs.
Leonard is eligible to sign up to a 2-year, $123 million extension with his new team. LeBron James saying goodbye to Hollywood. Shams reports James informed LA he'll play elsewhere this upcoming season. Warriors plan to pursue the former Laker when free agency negotiating window begins in 1 hour. Cavs and Heat also expected to be in the running. Panthers allowing 2-time Stanley Cup champ goalie Sergei Bobrovsky to hit free agency after acquiring Jacob Markstrom from New Jersey.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday, we'll get you ready for one of the biggest moments in U.S. men's soccer history as they get ready to face Bosnia in the round of 32. It's on Sportsman, like 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour number 2 off and running after further review here on a Tuesday, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. 1 hour down, 2 more to go, and we still have a ton to get to. NBA free agency officially kicks off in 1 hour, really, 58 minutes from right now. Jake Madison will be here in the next segment, give us a primer what we can expect for the New Orleans Pelicans as they enter Jamal Mosley's first offseason as the head coach, what rebuilding that might look like. MLB mock draft, 2 full round MLB mock draft. What are the LSU implications there? We'll touch on that. A potential Saints free agent target as well. Maybe some World Cup. Maybe World Cup. Maybe we'll dabble in that a little bit. The United States faces Bosnia and Herzegovina, obviously tomorrow in their first knockout round game. Already an upset yesterday with Germany falling, which our guy Freddie on Twitter was going through the motions. Man, the German fan who's just captured the hearts of America. So, I don't know. Maybe we might dabble in some World Cup a little bit later on the show. But for now, we'll continue to do what we've done really for the majority of the show so far. And that's talk some LSU football. I was perusing some CBSSports.com earlier today, just looking for some type of jumping off point to craft the segment around, and saw a piece from Brad Crawford that is titled 10 College Football Playoff Guarantees for 2026. All right, that has some potential. Got to figure LSU is going to be mentioned in that somewhere. Brad's been on this show talking about projecting LSU into the playoff and why he's so high on them this year. In all of his playoff projections, he's included LSU as one of the 12 teams that gets in, as many have. So I see a headline like that. So, well, let's see what he's got. You know they're going to be mentioned. And I did not intend for it to take me in the direction that it did. But his 5th guarantee is that LSU enjoys highest year-over-year increase in viewership. A brief thought on that, and I'll tell you where it led me. I think that's certainly possible. The Lane Kiffin angle, just can you imagine what the Clemson game is going to do? Lane Kiffin's first game as LSU's coach, 2 weeks later going to Ole Miss. Your month of November, when you look at this LSU schedule, you see Clemson, Ole Miss, A&M, Texas, Bama, all on it. Those are going to be some pretty highly viewed games. Just for a note here, Alabama was the nation's most watched team a year ago. according to Nielsen, 8.4 million per game, then Texas, then Georgia. You play two of those teams right there. LSU needs to nearly double its average to surpass Alabama's. Not saying they're going to do that, but when you talk about year-over-year increase, yes. Why? Because of the schedule. And that's where this took me. And included in this article is a quote, and forgive me, I should have pulled the audio from this. A quote from the Cover 3 podcast with Bud Elliott. Bud Elliott was on this podcast. And, of course, Bud Elliott, he of Blue Chip Ratio fame. And this is the quote that he gave. Quote, I don't think anyone has an easier SEC schedule than LSU this year. And I just could not disagree with that more. Like, I don't understand where this got started, that LSU's schedule in 2026 is easy. And I'm not coming down on Bud Elliott. This is not the first time. I was filling in for Moscona earlier in the spring. And actually, it was CBS Sports. We went through a piece they had of which first-year SEC head coach had the toughest schedule. And LSU's was the easiest out of all of them. Now, granted, look, that includes Ryan Silverfield, and Arkansas' schedule is cruel and unusual punishment, as it is every year. So I'm not saying LSU should be considered the hardest, but that's just another instance of where people have looked at this and go, oh, LSU schedule easy. And look, I understand. No one is going to doubt the talent on LSU's team. I'm not doubting that. You signed a top 10 transfer class or a top 15 high school class and then the number 1 transfer class. And oh, by the way, you retained the most talented pieces of your team from a year ago. Harlan Berry, Trey Green, like DJ Pick. We don't need to go through all of them. You know. So I'm not going to sit here and doubt the talent. I'm not going to tell you that LSU can't attack this schedule and go 10-2. I think they end up 9-3, but I'm not telling you they can't go 10-2 or put together great because they're talented. What I'm telling you, though, is to say easiest schedule in the SEC, that's, in my opinion, that's ridiculous. Because yes, while you have the talent, what is the thing everyone always talks about with the schedule? It also matters when and where you play teams. And LSU has brutal stretches on this schedule. And it's not just November. Your first 4 weeks. Clemson at Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Look, Clemson, they don't look like they're going to be exactly what they were projected to be a year ago, and they ended up not being very good. Good at LSU. Remember what we all thought about that LSU-Clemson game a year ago? It doesn't have that same shine. LSU's a double-digit home favorite in that game. That is going to be a huge emotional spot for LSU and a really tough ask for Clemson. It makes sense for me to go, okay, yeah, Clemson's going to win that, and you'll beat Louisiana Tech. But then you go to Ole Miss. At Ole Miss, which is going to just be a hornet's nest, powder keg, emotional friggin' out-of-control train. And quite honestly, I think that game goes one of two ways. Either LSU gets swallowed up by all of that and they lose, or they weather the early storm and pull away in the second half. Like, I don't really think there's an in-between. I think those are the two ways that goes. But that is going to be a incredibly difficult ask and challenge for LSU. And then, oh, by the way, you come back home the next week and you play Texas A&M, who has beaten you the last 2 years, and Marcel Reed has torched you the last 2 years. And again, I go back to the talent. Yes. LSU is very talented. But man, LSU has struggled against running quarterbacks, and that one in particular. He has gone over 100 yards rushing on you 2 years in a row. He didn't have another 100-yard rushing game last year, except for the one against LSU. It's hard for me to just look at that and pencil a W in there and go, oh yeah, especially coming off an emotional, physical football game the week prior at Ole Miss. You're going to have to come in and face a notoriously physical Texas A&M team who loves to run the ball. And you struggled against running quarterbacks in that one in particular. Like, what about that stretch screams easy? Then you go McNeese at Kentucky. We'll see what they are in Will Stein's first year, obviously. And look, I understand. But crazy things happen up at Commonwealth Stadium or Kroger Field, whatever it's called now. State at Auburn. If there's a stretch in LSU schedule that I go, okay, there's a breather, it's October. I think I share that opinion with a lot of people. But then you get to November and you go Bama, Texas, at Tennessee, at Arkansas. You end with back-to-back road conference games, which is one of the most difficult tasks to complete in the SEC. And you have it in the last week of the season after you play Alabama and Texas. What is Alabama going to be? I don't know. They haven't been as physical as they've been in the past, but also you haven't been able to beat Kalen DeBoer yet. So forgive me for just looking at that and going, oh, that's a win for LSU. No, I'm not going to do that. Because quite honestly, you should have had a great chance to beat them the last 2 years, and you failed to do so, and you got blown out on your home field one of those years. Running quarterback, by the way. Texas, national championship contender, coming off the game against Alabama. And then, oh, by the way, after Bama, Texas, you go on the road to Tennessee. What are they going to be quarterback-wise? I don't know, but the spot is there. So I can look at some of the teams on this schedule and go, all right, yeah, what is Alabama really going to be? LSU should be a home favorite in that game. What are they really going to be? And say, yeah, they could win that one. Tennessee, no quarterback, but it's on the road. But, well, yeah, what are they going to be? But I know Ole Miss is going to be really tough, and you have A&M on the back of that. I know that stretch, given when and where you play teams in November, is brutal, and you could have a bunch on the line at that point, too. Like, to me, this schedule is really difficult. Really difficult because of when and where you play teams and struggles you've had in the past that still need to be corrected. Tell me if you disagree. But I think to say LSU is the easiest schedule in the SEC, like Bud Elliott did, I think that's just flat out wrong. Like, I don't think I could disagree with that anymore. There are pitfalls and challenges to this everywhere for LSU in 2026, especially breaking in the amount of new players that you are, including your quarterback who missed the majority of spring. But we'll see. Easiest in the SEC. Man, that surprised me a little bit. All right, we're going to grab a break. We're going to come back on the other side. NBA free agency, 44, 45, somewhere in there, minutes away from starting. We'll get Jake Madison's take, a primer on what to expect for the New Orleans Pelicans and Joe Dumars and Jamal Mosley's first full offseason together as they try to rebuild the New Orleans Pelicans. That's next here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Don Moore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You know those 4 locations, and what an awesome time to get by Clegg's Nursery because they still have every single day shipments of flowers coming in, plants, trees, shrubs. You want to beautify the exterior of your home. You want to add that pop of color to your flower bed, to your patio pots. Maybe you got unwanted pests like ants or snakes or mosquitoes, wasps. They can help you take care of all of them. Maybe you got weeds coming up in your lawn. You want to get rid of that. Maybe you got dead spots in your lawn. The horticulturists, the professionals at Clegg's Nursery have the knowledge, the know-how, the expertise, and all the products you need to win Yard of the Month every month for your whole life. Guaranteed. Actually, I can't back that up. You have to do some of the work, too. It's Clegg's Nursery.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Bayou Ford is taking $12,000 off MSRP on the new 2026 Ford F-150 trucks, plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana.
Need a steel building? Proform Steel. I want you to remember the name. Why use Proform Steel? Well, I got tons of reasons. Here's a few. How about the lead times? 6 to 8 weeks from signed contract out the door. They'll get it to you quicker. Free delivery on every building. You buy it from them, they'll deliver it for free. It's Proform Steel. You can even order online. You can pick the style, size, color, doors, submit the form, get a call back the same day. And at Proform Steel, they use American-made materials on everything. No exceptions. It's Proform Steel. Maybe you need a shed in your backyard. Maybe we're talking about a big industrial facility. Need a steel building? You want Proform Steel. Make sure you call Brandon Golson, you know the name, at Proform Steel. Check them out, Proform Steel.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, NBA free agency officially gets underway at 5 p.m. Central Time. Should be another interesting off season for the New Orleans Pelicans. Jamal Mosley's first season as the head coach. Joe Dumars, their first season together. How do they rebuild this thing and get it close to being back into some type of postseason contention? Well, we'll get a free agency primer and we'll ask Jake Madison that very question. Locked on Pels on Twitter, X at NOLA Jake. Jake, we appreciate the time as always, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy to be on talking hoops with you.
Thankful for you to be here, man. I'm very much appreciative of your time as always. There's a lot of different angles we could attack this. Let's start with needs first, Jake, and then we'll get into what happens with some of the current guys on the team. Pelicans' biggest need this offseason is what?
You know, I think you look at this as one thing, and it's a center. They need to upgrade the big man rotation. This is a team that struggled last year in terms of defensive rebounding. They were giving up about a third of opponents' misses to them. So when you think about that, for every 3 defensive possessions, if they're grabbing an offensive rebound in there, that's 4 defensive possessions. That's going to tire your guys out pretty significantly. This is a team that just needs more size. They need to be able to go and rebound the ball better and just terminate and end opposing possessions. That's really a center position. If you're still going to build around Zion Williamson, Derek Queen, they're not elite rebounders. Zion Williamson is undersized for the 4, but that's where you've got to play him. So it has to be done with your center position. That is an area they need to upgrade.
I know it's obviously early. It hasn't even officially opened, but we know how the NBA works. What options do they have there potentially in free agency to upgrade the center position?
Not a whole lot at this point in time. You know, we're getting a lot of deals done kind of early as it tends to go in the NBA. And you're just seeing a lot of players re-sign with their teams. And when you look at the Pelicans, they don't have much money to spend in free agency. They've got a number of big contracts, right? Zion Williamson is making over $40 million. Jordan Poole is $34 million. DeJounte Murray is almost $33. They don't have a ton of financial flexibility here. And frankly, the Pelicans, if we're counting the luxury tax line as like the number they will go to, they're essentially at about $12.2 million to spend in free agency with 1 or 2 roster spots open. And that's it. That's truthfully not going to get anyone who's a difference maker for you. So we could talk about names here in free agency, but honestly, there's no one out there that's going to boost this team pretty significantly. And anyone that was going to is essentially already re-signed at this point in time. So right now, things are kind of looking a little bit slim for New Orleans. You could be looking at someone like Zach Collins, who you might be able to get for cheap. You could get an older Andre Drummond, who's been in the league, though, 14 years at this point. But if you're looking at someone that's going to make a difference, no, they don't really exist out there in free agency right now.
So let's say they don't get they don't get a difference maker there. You mentioned Zach Collins. It sounds like they kind of have to go with what they have. How can they improve in I mean, you can't, none of these guys are getting bigger, right? So like, how can they improve with rebounds and things of that nature, maybe not addressing that in free agency?
Yeah, I think when you look at this team, there was a lot of talk about what they might do on draft night. We heard a lot of smoke, right? A lot of rumors around Trey Murphy potentially getting moved. We heard a lot about Herb Jones as well. If they want to seriously change this roster and not essentially just run it back from last year, and look, the team won 26 games. They should not be simply running it back this year. It's going to have to be through a trade. And right now, their only strong trade assets are either future first-round picks. We saw what happened with that last year and that trade up for Derek Queen. So I don't know if I want them touching those, or it's going to be someone like Trey Murphy and Herb Jones and trying to get a deal done that way. When you look at this roster, there's no one interested in Jordan Poole. There's no one interested in DeJounte Murray unless you're attaching 1 or 2 future first-round picks. And at that point, I don't know if that's what this team should do here. So they feel kind of stuck, to be truthful with you, and a little bit directionless because of that. But they're going to have to explore the trade market. And there are guys that are going to be available. You could get Miles Turner potentially from the Milwaukee Bucks as they're kind of going through a rebuild now with Giannis leaving and being traded to Miami. He's someone that defends the rim. He rebounds well enough and he can shoot the 3 a little bit. You could finally maybe put a court spacing center next to Zion Williamson, which would be interesting to see for, the first time in 8 years at this point. You could look at a team like the Memphis Grizzlies, who are kind of retooling and going in a different direction. Santi Aldama is more of a power forward than a center, but he's an interesting big man that I think you could put in the front court with the Zion Williamson, with the Derek Queen, and at least stabilize that position a little bit. Those are the type of moves that you're looking for here. But when you look at the rest of the roster, it still doesn't make it feel like this team's going to be a contender, even if they add that big man, that center that they really need.
You mentioned Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. Let's just go ahead and go there next. Will both Herb Jones and Trey Murphy be on the New Orleans Pelicans for 2026, 2027?
Man, I've gone back and forth on this so often at this point in time. And, on draft night, I was pretty certain that Trey was going to get moved. It really felt like that was going to happen. And then the Pelicans put a price on these guys that's pretty high. They want at least 3 first-round picks for Trey Murphy, 2 first-round picks for Herb Jones. And when you look around the NBA, there's been a bit of a market correction after the Desmond Bane trade from Memphis to Orlando a year ago, where those type of deals aren't materializing right now for the most part. Even Jaylen Brown isn't going to get 4 first-round picks like the Boston Celtics want. And so if the New Orleans Pelicans are going to stick to that very high evaluation of their players, no one's offering that, and I don't think any team's going to get desperate enough to offer that. So I see both those guys right now being back on the team next year as they try and run it back and hope that a new head coach in Jamal Mosley is going to be the difference maker for him.
A couple more guys. Obviously, we'll talk about Zion, and I want to circle back with you on DeJounte Murray as well. But of the 2026 free agents that are on this Pelicans team, like DeAndre Jordan, Looney, Hunter Dickinson, all that, do you see any of those guys signing back with New Orleans?
Looney, no. He's almost certainly gone. They declined the team option on him for this year, so he'll be a free agent, probably sign elsewhere, though I don't know if he's got much of a future in the league at this point. Age is just kind of caught up to him, and he did not make a real impact for New Orleans last season. I think the interesting name that you mentioned is DeAndre Jordan. They brought him in as just that kind of veteran when they had some injuries earlier on in the year, and he was just the veteran presence this team needed. You've heard Derek Queen rave about him, He's working with him this offseason. He was really a mentor to a lot of these young guys, but even the established veterans too. You saw him working with Zion Williamson. You saw him working with Herb Jones. They could sign him. You'd sign him for a veteran minimum deal. It wouldn't add too much to the Pelicans salary cap. I don't think he offers much in terms of on-court production, but if you just want to have him around in the locker room, absolutely bring him back. I think that's a signing that actually paid some dividends for the team last offseason. I also wonder if you could bring him back in some capacity as a coach, and I think that would also be kind of interesting to see as well. But I don't I don't see someone like Hunter Dickinson. He might come back on a two-way deal. That's what he was on. Big guy, but I don't think any of those guys are going to really massively crack the rotation of the team.
Jake Madison is our guest, Locked On Pels podcast. If you don't already listen, you should get subscribed as well. He's on Twitter at NolaJake. Jake, let's talk about Zion Williamson. I mean, he's eligible for another extension here shortly. How does he fit with this team long term? You got a good sample size of games out of him a year ago, and he was really good. But the long term fit is something that really comes up with him right now.
I do think this team will explore extension possibilities with him. He's making $42 million this year. He's got, I think, 1 or 2 more years on his deal. I'll look it up in a second here. And, he making $46 million. He played last year. That's great. And you've heard no trade buzz around him because it takes more than 1 year to really change people's opinions around Zion Williamson in the league and just the lack of availability that he's had despite being healthy last year and coming back from injury early last year. So I think this is someone they want to just try and see if you can make it work. And the reason for that is his ceiling is higher than anybody else on the team. When he's healthy and playing his best, he's the best player on the team and he's a generational talent. And I think front offices are straight up scared to let that guy go because it didn't work here in New Orleans and he goes to another team and all of a sudden he's thriving and then you're the guy that traded away Zion Williamson and that's a good way to lose your job. And so that's why I think the team's just still building around him. They've given no indications that they want to trade him whatsoever. I also don't think he has much value around the league either. But you mentioned the fit, right? And that's the problem for New Orleans here. They're stuck between two timelines, and they have been for this past year. You traded up to draft Derek Queen, gave up essentially 2 first-round picks to get him. You also have Jeremiah Fears. Both those guys made the all-rookie second team. They look like the future of this franchise. They look both like guys that you could build around. Jeremiah Fears had a 40-point game. Derek Queen had multiple triple doubles last year. That's a really impressive thing for 2 rookies who are super young, and it feels like you should be focusing on them and building around them. But Derek Queen and Zion Williamson don't fit. The team was significantly worse when both of them were on the court together because the fit isn't there. Neither of them are good defenders. Neither of them protect the rim. Neither of them space the court. Their weaknesses are just compounded because it's similar weaknesses here. So if you truthfully want to build around Derek Queen, you need to find a better big man for him. And that's why I think center is the most important thing for New Orleans. But also, if you want to be competitive and win now, you need to put Derek Queen on the bench and find another big man for Zion Williamson. And these are competing things. And I think this team is going to try and force Zion Williamson and Derek Queen to work together this year, only to quickly realize, no, this isn't the right type of fit. And at that point, they're going to kind of be behind the 8 ball on what they need to do to figure out a plan going forward. As you mentioned, what's Zion, what's the future with Zion Williamson? I'm not really sure. They seem committed to him and building around him right now. But if you're also committed to Derek Queen, I don't think these two things work together. And that's going to be the big challenge for the Pelicans, is simply figuring out a direction and trying to prioritize either Zion's timeline or the young guy's timeline.
Oh, man. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? I mean, you just said it, and they've said it, and Zion said it. He's committed to being here. He wants to be here. He lives in New Orleans. They want to build around him. They've always been committed to building around him. But, man, it feels like they've just sit there and spun their wheels, and they seem to content to do that again. That's just, man, it's hard because it's like, all right, you want to build around both, like you just said. It's just like, can it work the way it's currently constructed? And I mean, they're going to try it again. I mean, that's just, man, that's hard to sit back and watch.
I think it's particularly frustrating for the fans. And one of the things that I feel this, and I've gotten this sense from a lot of the fan base, is just that this team feels stuck.
Yeah.
And part of that comes from they just don't want to take a step back and try and build something from the ground up. That dreaded idea of a rebuild, tearing it all down, even though you have two pieces that you should be building around in Fears and Queen. And this is going to be year 8 of Zion Williamson. He has not played in a single playoff game, partially, due to the inability to build around him and, not great front office work at times, but also his lack of availability and his own fault in this sort of side with everything. I think it hurts even more when you look at teams in the Western Conference and around the NBA. The Clippers were a little bit directionless, but earlier today, they just traded away Kawhi Leonard, got a bunch of first-round picks, drafted someone at 5th overall, and seem to be prioritizing building around their youth and not giving someone who's aging in Kawhi Leonard an extension. You had the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday finally trade away John Morant after trading away Desmond Bane last offseason and Jaren Jackson Jr. during the season. They pivoted from where they were because they realized that wasn't good enough, and we have a chance to build around some of the young guys that we've drafted and add another one. So they have a direction. Look at Charlotte. They were almost in the playoffs last year. They won 44 games. They were the surprise of the NBA in the second half of the season. They traded away LaMelo Ball. They traded away Miles Bridges, got picks, and decided to prioritize Brandon Miller, who's going to be in his 4th year next year, Con Knippel, who's a great rookie, and then add the right type of pieces around those guys. You see multiple teams that did not have a direction find that direction this offseason. And then here's the Pelicans still trying to choose a direction, but not really, because they're just trying to do two things at once. And that just never works at the NBA level.
Yeah, I can certainly understand the frustration. You said it earlier, it's a 26-win team. You can't just run it back, and kind of looks like they're trying to run it back a little bit. Jake Madison, our guest. One more for you, Jake. All right, what's going to happen with DeJounte Murray here with his future in New Orleans?
Probably stays on the team unless they kind of go big with some sort of, very aggressive trade, which I still think they're trying to do. We've heard Joe Dumars say, we can't just run it back. We won 26 games. They're hyper aware of that, I think. But unless they're willing to include picks with someone like DeJounte Murray or even Jordan Poole, those guys are going to be on the team next year. No, they don't have value around the league. I think when you looked at that DeJounte Murray trade under David Griffin, that was an overpay at the time. And then the injuries immediately hit him. And that first year in New Orleans was a disaster. He came back last year and showed some flashes or two, but this is someone who has kind of been declining a little bit. I don't want to say significantly in the NBA. He hasn't made an all-star team in a number of years. He hasn't made the all-defensive team again. This is someone that just doesn't have a ton of value around the league. And when you look at his contract running for multiple years, that's going to scare off teams. He makes $32.8 million next year. He's got a player option after that for $31 million. Teams don't want to pay that if guys aren't producing. And that's why he's probably going to be maybe starting for your Pelicans on opening night over someone like Jeremiah Fears.
Jake, I was half hoping you were going to come in here and hype me up a little bit, man, and get me a little bit excited. But
I wish I could have come in, but I think that, as we've talked about, this team just really does feel stuck here.
They're stuck. Well, hopefully Jamal Mosley can be enough of a difference to up the win total a little bit more, and maybe some of these guys, kind of find the fountain of youth a little bit. Jake Madison, Locked On Pels. Y'all get subscribed, listen daily. It's fantastic on Twitter, X, @NolaJake. Jake, we appreciate it as always, man. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely. That is Jake Madison. This is After Further Review, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Due for a break here, but first, Matt on Rouse's.
AFR.
Rouses.com, Rouses.com. 4th of July, right around the bend, y'all. Saturday, we celebrate 250 years of America. Red-blooded American fury. You want to go get burgers and dogs and beers and Cokes and everything you get, apple pie, America. You go to Rouse's. What are Rouse's colors? Red and white. I know we need some blue in there, but the point is, it's Rouse's because it's America. Great local retailer. You're getting ready for the 4th of July. Everything you need. Chips and dips and dogs and burgers and buns and drinks and everything. Get on by Rouse's, the official supermarket of America. They're the official supermarket of the Saints. It's Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Another roof gone too soon. Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation. At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today. Case closed.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized, it'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Love telling you about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. That's Arco Power Systems. You know, we talk about generators a lot in Louisiana, especially all along the Gulf Coast, where we're sort of in this storm belt right here in the Gulf Coast. Well, of course, a lot of people have home standby generators. When we talk about Arco Power Systems, these are not home standby generators. This is industrial generator power. This is for your business. I mean, just think about it. When the power goes out, be it a hurricane, an ice storm, snow like we had last year, power goes out. What do you do with your business? Well, being offline is not an option. That's why you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. Just look at all the locations. Baton Rouge, Bossier, Harvey, Lake Charles, Mandeville, Mobile, LaPorte, Texas, San Antonio, Little Rock, Houston, Dallas. They're everywhere. So if you're a business and you need standby power for your business, you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com.
All right, the MLB draft. The MLB draft is 11 days away. Prep Baseball Report released a very comprehensive 2-round mock, including the competitive balance rounds and everything, 75 picks that I want to dive into right here. MLB draft, it's always an interesting deal, just with the slot values and the money, and teams are able to really manipulate that and under slot value sign guys for over slot. It's just, I think we've all become accustomed to it enough around here dealing with LSU that we all have a pretty good handle on how it works. LSU a year ago got destroyed in the MLB draft. They lost 8 players in their signing class, their high school signing class, to Major League Baseball. That's just that's not counting the players you lost off your team, off your national championship team. It hurts so bad because you didn't have a big class. LSU's a big signing class. 23 guys, I think, is where they stand now, high school-wise. They're probably going to lose probably 6 to 8 again. Now, you've already got some really good news with Braxton Beatty, and then obviously on Monday, Nate Davis, coming to school. That is huge. perfect game. That's like a top 150 draft prospect, regardless of where you look. Somebody who's probably going to command second-round money, regardless of where he was taken. And perfect game ranked him as the fourth highest-ranked signee in LSU's class. You're getting him to campus. That's huge. It's a great left-handed bat. Awesome speed, defender, really athletic guy. Going to compete for a starting role in the outfield as a freshman. You have that one spot open after you added Jason Wax and Bino Waters. So Nathaniel Davis most likely going to compete there with William Patrick. That is a huge get, and he joins a long line, what is becoming a really long line of highly ranked guys spurning the draft and coming to play for Jay Johnson at LSU. So those are good things. When you look at this mock from Prep Baseball Report, like I said, it's comprehensive. You start with the current LSU players, and it's the two that you're seeing in all of these. It's Derek Couriel and Jake Brown. So Prep Baseball Report has Couriel, 14th overall to the Miami Marlins. You would obviously expect Derek Couriel to sign that deal, as I think many of us are expecting. You find Jake Brown in the second round, 53rd overall to the Diamondbacks. Again, you'd expect Jake Brown to sign that deal and move forward. Where the real intrigue comes in is your high school class. Because look, LSU, they didn't go crazy in the transfer portal, right? Signed 6 guys, 2 pitchers, 4 position players. And it's a really good crop. Like the top of the line guys. Allocated their resources, did that. Now the focus really turns to your high school class. In this mock, there are 5 LSU signees. That's in the first 2 rounds, 75 picks. 5 LSU signees mocked. So when we're talking 6 to 8 potentially losses, maybe you get some surprises in there. We'll see. It can paint a pretty grim picture. But does LSU have a shot at any of these guys? So the first one you find is Logan Schmidt, the lefty, top left-handed pitcher in the class, to the Angels. We'll see what becomes of that. I know Baseball America had a report earlier today that there's a chance now that his, it's just a wide range of options for him, and it's kind of becoming, I think the word they used was volatile. We'll see. Guys like that tend to work those things out. If it's becoming volatile, that tells you he is deep in negotiations most likely, and that's why it's becoming volatile. Those things tend to work themselves out, and those guys tend to sign. Could there be a chance? Sure. There's always a chance. That's why, except for a guy like Connor Griffin, there wasn't a chance. But that's why you recruit the highest of high. As we sit here 11 days out, I still expect Logan Schmidt to sign a professional contract and not play baseball at LSU. You go further down the list, and that's where you find Dominic Santorelli, a first baseman, 58 overall to the Reds. I think it is pretty much understood that he's going to start his professional career. Young man had a tremendous showing at the MLB Combine, and it was one of those showings that it's just like, man, that's going to be one that would be fun to think about at playing at LSU, which is I don't want to call it a disappointment because, young man needs to go do what's best for his family. He would have just been awesome to see potentially play. And who knows, maybe a surprise happens, but I think we kind of all understand where that happens, or where that tends to go. You get into the competitive balance round B, and you find Lucas Naraki at 71 overall, and I want to come back to him. The very next pick is Malachi Washington. He's kind of been one of those guys where it seems like it's just understood that he's going to move on. Outfielder Jensen Hirschhorn, LSU's top-ranked right-handed pitcher signee, is 74th to the Twins. Kind of seems like he would move on as well. Those are your 5. Naraki, man, this one will be tough to swallow if he ends up signing the professional contract. And by the way, if Lucas Naraki gets drafted 71st overall, he should absolutely sign the contract, and he will. But that's a guy who at the MLB Combine put on an absolute show with the bat. So he's a two-way guy. And I'm sure it'd be disappointing because Naraki is a guy, and I should say after the combine, he's really become a fast riser. And there was a time where you look at that and you go, okay, you got a shot with him. And the reason why is his stature. He's 5'11", 170 pounds. He's just not big. And the MLB drafts in general, sports tend to ding you for that. The stuff on the mound is electric. It's a mid-90s fastball from that frame, from the left side. Obviously, we talked about the two-way ability. At the MLB Combine, he hit 3 of the longest home runs in the batting practice portion of that combine. All of them went over 420 feet. He is a very powerful, compact player. But again, projectability just might not still be there from a size standpoint. It was long thought that that could ding him. Kylie McDaniel, ESPN.com's draft expert, was on this show about a month ago talking about Naraki and said the same thing. That they like the metrics, they like, the stuff, his ability, but the stature might ding him to where it's, okay, well, we like you, but why don't you go ahead and prove this for a couple years in the SEC, 3 seasons in the SEC, and we can revisit it. But after the MLB Combine, he has really risen, and that's a guy, because of the opportunity to potentially get him, that LSU has spent a lot of resources on and really talking with him throughout the regular season about his options and the offseason. So if you lose him, that's a bummer. And with the way he's rising, it certainly seems like losing him now is more of the possibility than getting him to campus. Again, you got 11 days. Things can change. He's not going to grow. He's not going to shoot up to 6'3" in 11 days. But that showing at the combine might be enough for the MLB to look at the two-way and go, all right, hold on, we can work with this. Because if it doesn't work out at this level on the mound, he's shown the chops at the plate potentially as well. That is going to be one to continue to watch. And I'm going to tell you, if you do get him, that's an immediate impact player for you in 2027, one way or the other. You need left-handed pitching, and he could absolutely be that for you. And if the bat's going to translate and have that type of power, Jay Johnson has talked about building power through this program. He's certainly a guy for that. Out of everyone that we just went through of your signees, that's the one to keep the closest eye on, because they have invested in educating him and things of that nature, because there was one point a very real chance that they would get him, just given maybe his stature. But after that showing in the combine, he is consistently listed as biggest draft risers. They're going to have to really hold their breath on that one. Now it feels like, and hopefully for their sake, they get him, because that seems like a real impact guy from day one. But obviously we'll track it as it continues to go. But found that mock draft interesting. And the other notable thing is, of the LSU signings, there's 5 of them in there. They all appeared after round 1. Now, granted, teams move money and all that, but they all appeared after round 1. So just keep an eye on that. 11 days out, the MLB draft. Then we will have a really good picture of what LSU's 2027 Tiger baseball roster will look like. And that'll be fun conversations to have as well throughout the rest of the offseason. We're going to grab a break, come back on the other side, close out hour number 2 of AFR with Tigers and the Pros.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, 2 beautiful hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. And when it comes to hosting your event, both the Watermark and the Renaissance are perfect. The Watermark is a gorgeous, elegant spot in downtown Baton Rouge. That wedding reception, that smaller gathering, that meeting space, they can do it. They've kept so much of the history and tradition of that iconic building while modernizing it. The Gregory is a great restaurant inside of the Watermark as well. And then, of course, the Renaissance Hotel, Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. It's more modern. It's a gorgeous hotel property at the Renaissance Hotel, where they have meeting space that can accommodate up to 500 people, 7,000 square foot of meeting space, perfectly located right off of Bluebonnet and I-10. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance Hotels in Baton Rouge.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. On the Baton Rouge General Campus, I mean, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right. And then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first 2 floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center. State-of-the-art dry eye center, and it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having. But they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. WilliamsonEye.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here of AFR. We'll do so with Tigers in the Pros. Take it away, Braxton.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, so Aaron Nola for the Philadelphia Phillies last night versus the Pittsburgh Pirates went at 4 innings, gave up 8 hits, had 7 earned runs, 2 home runs, and 5 strikeouts. That is a 6.04 ERA and a loss, 11-7. Nola is now 3-5 on the season. Alex Bregman for the Chicago Cubs last night went 2-4 from the plate. Cubs get the win over the Padres 3-2. Toronto Blue Jays host the New York Mets tonight. First pitch at 6:07 p.m. with Kevin Gausman on the bump for the Blue Jays. Last but not least, Ben Simmons is prepping for an NBA return after taking a year off to quote unquote, find himself again. He was last in the Los Angeles Clippers 2024-2025 roster, is looking to get stronger than ever and get back onto the court and hopes to show potential teams that he can still play. That is your latest on Tigers and the Pros.
There you go, Ben. Come on back, man. NBA misses you, Ben Simmons. Wasn't he doing he owned like a professional fishing team?
Yeah,
I think I remember doing that.
That's
in
the last thing I saw.
Yeah,
but
I think I remember doing that in Tigers and the Pros. Well, I guess you can only do that for so much. Maybe he still owns the team. They always get that itch to play, man. Well, come on back, Ben Simmons. Maybe the Pelicans will sign you. All right, hour number 3 is next.
AFR.
And get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, do what injured people in Louisiana have done for more than 30 years. Call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888-8888. It's all eights. 888-8888. I don't even need to give you the area code because no matter where you are in the state, it doesn't matter. Just dial 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon does an awesome job, man. He's a great person. They've been so invested in our communities with all the charitable and service work that they do. They give back into the communities that they represent, no matter what time of year. If it's the bike giveaway for kids around Christmas time, if it's the laptop giveaway around back to school time, if it's the charitable work they do during October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, they're always involved in the community. We tell you all the time, of course, about the G Team and what Gordon's done with NIL and the opportunities that he's afforded student athletes. Just a great, great community partner. If you've been injured, you need representation, go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email LockeMeredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 2025 Ram 1500 truck with $18,000 off MSRP plus 3.9% financing for 60 months. $18,000 off plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
And only NBA championship, Kawhi Leonard likely heading back to Toronto. ESPN's Sham Sharani is reporting the Clippers nearing a deal to send Leonard to the Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, a pick swap, and 2 second-rounders. Certainly this shakes things up in the East, notes ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
This is a real balance of power shifting trade. This is the first one. This is the first major transaction that has changed the balance of power. The Heat have the potential to do that, but they aren't yet ready to contend. The Raptors are now ready to contend. The New York Knicks, for the first time since they got done with their parade, are going to sit up a little bit on this one. This changes how the Eastern Conference shakes out.
The other big story today in the NBA, LeBron James told the Lakers he won't be back. Warriors plan to pursue him. Cavaliers and Heat also expected to be in the James sweepstakes. Wizards not interested in trading forward Anthony Davis and are not listening to trade offers for him. Serena Williams, in her first professional singles match in nearly 4 years, lost in the opening round at Wimbledon in 3 sets to Australia's Maya Joint.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Off and running, hour number 3. After further review, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. Braxton Rizzuto, Cassie Spazzali along for the ride, and we are glad to have you along for the ride as well as we put a button here on a Tuesday show. 2 hours in the books, 1 more to go. Got a lot to get to here as well. College football playoff title sleepers. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Not odds to make the college football, not sleepers to make the college football playoff, sleepers to win the college football playoff. There's some names on that list that might surprise you a little bit, so we'll kick that around here momentarily. But we've come all the way through this show, all the way down to the 5 o'clock hour, and we have not talked about the New Orleans Saints yet, so let's change that. Are the New Orleans Saints poised to add one more free agent? That's the question. Here's the background and then the answer. So Bleacher Report, as they're wont to do, goes through and does all their pieces, what best free agents available, landing spots, things of that nature. Mo Moton, which is an awesome name. He was the guy at Bleacher Report who did this and named the Saints as a landing spot for a free agent wide receiver. And it really shouldn't surprise you who this is. We talked about this guy plenty last year because he was a free agent a year ago. It's Keenan Allen. Obviously, the tie to Kellen Moore is there. They were together in Los Angeles with the Chargers when Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator. In fact, Keenan Allen enjoyed his best season of his career, the best season of his career, when Kellen Moore was his offensive coordinator. It was in 2023. He had 108 passes, career high, 1,200 yards, career high, 7 touchdowns, career high, and it would have made an awful lot of sense to reunite those guys because of the tie, familiar with the offense, the success, all of those things. All the reasons we talked about this at length a year ago in the offseason. Now you fast forward to the 2026 offseason, going into Kellen Moore's second year, and you look at Keenan Allen, who, by the way, a year ago chose the Chargers in free agency, remained there, played all 17 games, so was durable, but only played in 55% of the offensive snaps. Now, in doing so, he was productive in a lower snap count. Like we said, played in all 17 games. You look at his receiving numbers, 81 catches, 777 yards. Productive given his snap count. But if I'm sitting here and I'm examining the question, should the New Orleans Saints pursue Keenan Allen in free agency? The answer is unequivocally absolutely not. No. No, that ship has sailed for a lot of reasons. Number one, he's 34 years old. All right, this would be year 14. He'd be coming in on an incentive-laden deal to be seldom used. I like the veteran aspect of it, the familiarity in Kellen Moore's system, but incentive-laden deal for a guy who's going to be seldom used, who's 34 years old. First and foremost, that says, no thank you. The bigger reason is, what position did the Saints invest the heaviest in this offseason? Hello? Knock, knock, hello. That was wide receiver. They're good. They're good there. They're not going to carry more than 6 more often. You know, you go figure. They're not going to carry more than 6. You know Chris Olave is going to make the team. You know Jordan Tyson's making the team. He was a first-round pick. You invested a first-round pick in a wide receiver. One, with size, like a guy like Keenan Allen. That was one of the things we loved about the potential for it a year ago. He added size. He was a different receiver for you last offseason than what you had. Not this year. You had Jordan Tyson. You end up picking up Devon Vele along the route. Now, injuries there, fine, but that's a guy who you look at and go, could potentially maybe be the number 3. So you're going to get more out of him than you probably would out of Keenan Allen in the first place. Jalen Polk, they trade for Jalen Polk. He sits out all of last year, works in the system. Now he's ready to go. They're super excited about him. You have to figure he's going to be on this roster. You spend a 4th-round pick. So you spend a first-round pick on Jordan Tyson, spend a 4th-round pick on Bryce Lance. He's obviously going to have a good chance to make this team. Barry and Brown, they look at this guy as a receiver and special teams. That's 6 potentially for you right there. That doesn't even count a guy like Mason Tipton or Bub Means, who obviously they've had injuries and things of that nature. But then you look at a guy like Kevin Austin, who's been a practice squad mainstay and contributed for the New Orleans Saints when they were just a mash unit. Trey Palmer, Ronnie Bell. They signed Brock Rexsteiner to a UDFA. Holler if you hear me. There ain't no room for Keenan Allen. They're good there. They invested heavily in wide receiver this offseason, knowing that that was a spot they had to get better at and get more diverse at. And you've done that. You're going to extend Chris Olave. How much that extension will be, we'll see when they finally get that deal done. I mean, you have a former first-round pick in Jalen Polk, who's now healthy. You invested another draft pick in Bryce. Like, you're good. You've got the size of Tyson and Vele. And then, oh, by the way, if you forgot, Juwan Johnson's still on this team. He's a heck of a pass catcher. Like, Juwan Johnson a year ago was your second leading receiver, 77 receptions, 889 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He is basically a wide receiver at tight end. And then you even go a further step and you invest a draft pick, a second-round draft pick, in Oscar Delp, who, while maybe his hands weren't what he's known for, they seem to like that aspect of his game too. The Saints have enough pass catchers. Absolutely not. Absolutely not is the answer to, should the Saints consider adding 34-year-old Keenan Allen on an incentive-laden deal? No thanks. You're good on your roster. You're good on your practice squad. So for me, hard no. I'm actually very excited about the Saints' wide receiver room. They set out and they built around Tyler Shough. Oh, by the way, Travis Etienne can catch the ball in the backfield. We know what Alvin Kamara can do out of the backfield. They have enough pass catchers. Passing game isn't going to be the worry. The worry is going to be, can the Saints run the football? Because they've been absolute doo-doo at that for the last handful of years. So can you improve there? You've got enough pass catchers. Absolutely not is the answer to should the Saints. Not even pursue. Should the Saints even consider that? No. Should not be a consideration. Be excited about this group because you got a really good one. They've invested. They've adjusted. They seem pretty set to go there. Maybe Keenan Allen ends up back in Los Angeles. We'll see. But I don't think it'll be with New Orleans, nor do I think that it should be. All right, we're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. It's after further review. Of course, Tuesday's AFR is presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. We'll grab our break, come back. College football playoff title sleepers. LSU? Ole Miss? Who else maybe made the list? We'll talk about that next on AFR.
After further review.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential, think real estate, think Darren James. You want an unbelievable customer service experience? You want Darren James. It's part of his core values for Darren and his team. Darren tells me all the time, as long as I've known Darren, he said, my goal one day is to put myself out of business. I want to create such a turnkey, seamless, easy process for people to be able to buy and sell homes that they don't even need me anymore. Well, as Darren continues on that path in the meantime, he's going to help you sell your home. So if you need to sell your home, you want a realtor that quite literally sells more homes than anyone, you want Darren James. Last year, Wall Street Journal is listed the top 1% of realtors in America, Darren James. So need to sell your home fast for the most amount of money? You need Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Ford is taking $12,000 off MSRP on the new 2026 Ford F-150 trucks, plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years.
Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Brought to you by Evermore. Drink Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. For elite athletes, for someone who just wants a healthier lifestyle. Maybe you're a parent, you want a healthier option for your children. Evermore is a great option. I would highly encourage you, bottom line, if you're drinking tap water, don't. Bare minimum, filter your tap water. But the best option is Evermore. This is natural artesian water. It's underground aquifers on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, right there in Covington. They dug a well into that aquifer. And, I mean, it's literally thousands of years in the making. That's why they call it Mother Nature's masterpiece. That's what they're pulling out of the ground. The only filtration is take like the sediment from the ground out of the water, and it goes right into the bottle. So it never touches air until you uncap it, take that first delicious sip. Learn more where you can buy it, great retailers or online, EVAMOR, evermore.com.
All right, we're in the heart of the college football offseason, especially talking season. In fact, we're lining up an interview with our guy Phil Steele for next week on the show to get Phil's take on all the talking season and whatnot. So that's when when we're getting our offseason primer from Phil Steele, that's when we are in the heart of talking season. In fact, Wednesday is July 1st. That's going to kick off 3 weeks to SEC Football Media Day. So it is fast approaching. Well, one of the big things when it comes to talking season is who's going to win the national championship. I think we all know the favorites, right? Georgia's always going to be right there. Indiana, obviously, nowadays is going to be right there. Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, all the teams that you know right now. So the question is sleepers. Well, Blake Topmeyer over at USA Today, friend of the show, looked at the betting odds and found the top 5 sleepers. Now, for his criteria to be considered a sleeper or considered have long odds, like what considers long odds for this? Odds longer than 12-1. So, won't really bury the lead here. LSU is listed as a sleeper to win the national title at 15-1 odds. I think many of us here look at LSU and say, well, no, LSU's a contender. If they're not in the playoff, it's a giant disappointment. I'd agree with you. But remember, these are odds to win the national championship, not make the college football playoffs. So at 15-1, LSU fits sleeper. I think another reason they fit sleeper is, well, Lane Kiffin has really done his best to downplay expectations here in year one. He knows what he's got coming. The schedule we talked about earlier in the show, where a lot of people seem to think it's easy, I think it's just littered with pitfalls and hurdles. You have to navigate that with a quarterback who missed the majority of spring, all together with how many new players did LSU just add out of the portal in their high school class? Turned over more than half your roster. So I think sleeper absolutely fits LSU in this case. So we start there. LSU, sleeper to win the national championship. One that I think is interesting, also at 15-1, was Texas A&M. I think that's interesting because A&M obviously was in the college football playoff a year ago. They hosted their first round game. They lost to Miami, and Marcel Reed really struggled. But he's going into his 4th year. They do have to replace some pieces up front. But when you have a dynamic playmaker like Reed and the weapons that they were able to put around him, I mean, that's after losing a guy like Casey Concepcion, right, to the draft. There's still plenty. The thing that really intrigues me about A&M is Colin Klein is no longer the offensive coordinator there. And I think that tends to get downplayed more than it should. And I'm not just talking about Texas A&M in this case. I mean in general. When you lose a play caller, and especially one who is as successful as Klein, there is an inherent drop-off there. That's where I look at it and I go, okay, yeah, the sleeper mold fits for them. But you saw the strides they made defensively a year ago when Mike Elko took that back over. So, yeah, you're losing a defensive coordinator as well, but Mike Elko is really the guy pulling the strings a year ago when he took play calling back over. The Colin Klein aspect there is interesting. If A&M can really not miss a beat, that's going to be a really challenging team to have to go up against on Saturdays in the fall. And if they don't miss a beat, I think you'll see their odds increase and they will not be a sleeper anymore. But that does concern me with them. Let's go to the Big Ten, and we'll get to the really long shots. USC, 35-1, sleeper to win it. You look at USC this year, and man, they were on the doorstep of making the college football play a year ago. They couldn't get past Oregon. In fact, they got beat up pretty good in that game against Oregon. But USC has kind of attacked this differently. Look, obviously they have Jaden Maiava, who had an awesome year a season ago. Really broke out, man. Like you saw what he could do. And in Lincoln Riley's offense, we know quarterbacks excel there. Lincoln Riley and Lane Kiffin, those are the two best offensive minds in college football today. Steve Sarkisian, yes, but I don't really think that's super debatable, just given the success and really almost immediate success that quarterbacks have in their systems. So you saw that with Jaden Maiava a year ago. When I say they've done something different, USC has 15 starters returning total. They have continuity in a time where nobody has continuity in college football. And you can argue, well, is that really a way to win it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I think what's really showing you is transfers have been more often the way to win it. But when you look at the thing that stands in USC's way, and you might say, hey, why with 15 returning starters, a quarterback that performed so well who returns as well in a offensive friendly system, a quarterback friendly system, why are they at 35-1? That's easy. It's the schedule. USC's schedule is absolutely brutal, and that is tough for a guy like Lincoln Riley, who's got a lot of pressure and expectations on him this season. You look at this USC schedule, the first 4 games, really nothing there. San Jose State, Fresno State, ULL, at Rutgers. That's your first 4. The cross-country trip is interesting to Rutgers, but Rutgers stinks. All right, let's just be honest. And after that, it ratchets up for USC. They face Oregon at home. You struggled against that team a year ago. They have to go back across the country and face Penn State. They have back-to-back weeks. There's a bye week in between, but at home against Ohio State and then back across the country to face Indiana. You're looking at Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State all on this schedule for USC. That's why they're 35-1. But with that schedule, if the continuity deal works and Jaden Maiava takes another big step and they can actually continue to improve on defense, then yeah, that's not a bad one. The longest shot that was listed as a sleeper is Penn State at 50-1. I don't think any of us are going to look at Penn State and Matt Campbell in year 1 and be like, oh man, look out for the Nittany Lions. They had talk about a roster that had to just be completely overturned. He does bring his quarterback, Rocco Becht, so you have that in there. But the thing that's favorable for Penn State is their schedule. There is no Ohio State. There is no Indiana. There is no Oregon. And they get USC at home. So even when you look at the cross-country travel for Penn State, that's even really non-existent. They have to go to Washington. But outside of that, their road games are Temple, why is Penn State playing a road game at Temple? But they're Temple, Northwestern, Michigan, and Maryland. Penn State's schedule might actually be found in like the pastry aisle. It's kind of just one giant friggin' cupcake. And that's needed for them for the roster turnover that they had. And then there's one more. There was one more that was listed as a sleeper. And it's the Ole Miss Rebels. I was surprised to see that. 25-1, their odds are very long. But I get it. They got a great quarterback. And if you have a quarterback, well, you can win a lot of football games. Right? We understand and we know that. Trinidad Chambliss can lead them to wins on his athletic ability alone, and you have Kejuan Lacey back. And honestly, a lot of starters back in general too. On both sides, even with the coaching change. But there's a few things, and you know most of them, that really should give, I think, just about everybody pause when it comes to Ole Miss. And that's one, there's no Lane Kiffin. Pete Golden did great as the head coach in the college football playoff. But even the circumstances surrounding that are not the same anymore. Not even close. One of the variables, same thing we talked about with A&M, Charlie Weiss is going as your offensive coordinator. He called the plays for you in the college football playoff that helped lead you on that run. And Pete Golden did very well game management-wise in that. But that is a massive piece that is missing. And if you don't have question marks there off of that, then I can't really help you. You're not actually considering the alternative there. Also, now a full season of Pete Golding. How does he settle in as a head coach? And then lastly, their schedule is just way more difficult than it was a year ago. Ole Miss's schedule a year ago fell really, really nicely for them. You're really tough. I mean, they beat LSU, and that really opened the door for them. But when you look at that, Ole Miss played 4 teams that were ranked at the time of the game last season. One of those was LSU when they were number 4. How'd that work out? They went on the road and lost at Georgia. Then they won on the road at 13th ranked Oklahoma at the time. But outside of that, it was Kentucky and Arkansas and Washington State and South Carolina and Florida and Mississippi State. And you look at that this season, and you see Texas pop up. Georgia's on there again. What everyone expects to be an improved LSU, what many expect to be an improved Florida team year one under John Sumrall, and that game's on the road. You have another road trip to Oklahoma. Just with the addition of Texas, that schedule gets way more difficult than it was a year ago. There are so many pitfalls ahead for the Ole Miss Rebels. They might be the greatest sleeper of them all because of the talent that they still do possess and what they were able to bring in. But when you add in first-year head coach Pete Golden, no Charlie Weiss, and that schedule, it gets really, really hard to see a path for Ole Miss this season. And then, as we said, Penn State, I mean, you don't want to say never, but 50-1 kind of maybe even seems a little generous there for the Nittany Lions. We'll see. All right, we're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. I know you're all probably dying to hear this. There's another update in the Brendan Sorsby saga. We'll talk about that next here on AFR.
After further review.
Let's Rev, R-E-V, letsrev.com, letsrev.com. You ever just get super frustrated at super slow internet? Oh, we've all been there, man. The little spinning wheel, slamming your keyboard or your mouse, pounding the desk because it's so frustrating. Your internet's so slow. Storm comes, knocks the power out, knocks the internet out, knocks the cable out. You're so frustrated. Maybe that's just me because I get kind of angry about things. But it's annoying. Nobody wants that to happen. Rev can help. They're local and 5 gigs, lightning fast speeds, and backed by an all-fiber network. Fiber. It's buried under the ground. I mean, you don't have to worry about a storm coming knocking the power lines down. Let's Rev. Listen, more than 70,000 Louisiana homeowners and business owners trust Rev. You should as well. REV. 90 years of local experience. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They will always find a way to get you the best possible price for the best possible tires on the road. That's what they do at Shawbills. And when they get you in by selling you the best tires, the cheapest price possible, they're going to treat you like family, and they're going to treat you so good you're going to keep coming back year after year after year every time you need anything for your vehicle. Tires rotated, oil changed, check engine light on, brakes squeaking, whatever's wrong with your vehicle, bring it to Shawbills. Let them give it the once-over And you can always schedule online, so it's convenient. ShawBillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Shop tires online at ShawBillsTire.com. Be sure to ask about the ShawBills credit card as well, because you can save $50 off your first purchase when you use the ShawBills credit card only at ShawBills.
Well, it's the story of the offseason that just won't really seem to end. Brendan Sorsby, he's back in the news yet again. And you know what? This time I'm here to applaud Brendan Sorsby for being back in the news. So, don't really think any of you need a quick catch-up, but if you do, obviously Brendan Sorsby gambled on sports, football, his own team, as a matter of fact, got his injunction, and the Big 12 was like, yeah, no, that's still not going to happen. And Brendan Sorsby and his lawyers realized that they were going to get outlawed by the Big 12. So Texas Tech told him, you're not going to play for us after all. So he says, oh, you know what? That's fine. I'll go ahead and enter the NFL supplemental draft because that deadline's coming anyway. And then last week, the NFL said, yeah, actually, Brendan, you're not, because we're just not going to hold an NFL supplemental draft this year. So you really have no path to coming in here. And then Brendan Sorsby said, well, NFL, I've already beat the NCAA in court one time, not the Big 12, but the NCAA one time. I'm going to take you to court too. Get that Lubbock judge back on the phone. And now, within the last hour, Brendan Sorsby has released a statement through Tom Pelissero, ESPN and the NFL Network, stating that he will not pursue any more legal action against the NFL. Yeah. Smart, Brendan. If you got outlawed by the Big 12, what do you think is going to happen when you go up against the NFL? It's probably really just not in your best interest, considering your goal is to still play in that league. They don't really take too kindly to those things up there in New York. His statement reads in part, and this is where I really want to applaud him. Quote, I accept 100% responsibility for my actions. Finally. It's like, finally. That's really the only part I care about in his statement. But he would go on and talk about not having control of his gambling problem, took getting caught to realize he needed help, getting the help, fully focusing on his recovery now. And that's great. And isn't that the thing that everyone talked about through all this? Hey, just say, you know what? My bad, guys. I screwed up. I bet on sports. I bet on my own team. Hand in the air. That's my fault. I'm going to focus on my recovery, and I can do that without playing. I accept the consequences. I can't, yes. Now, applause for that. I still think it's a shame it took this friggin' long. That should have been the first thing that happened. But the same thing with Texas Tech. You could have always helped him without playing him. But he takes full responsibility for his actions. He's going to focus on recovery. That's awesome. Talks about focusing on the NFL draft in 2027. That's what he's going to look for. And look, y'all, Brendan Sorsby is going to get an opportunity to play in the NFL. It's going to happen. The reason the supplemental draft went the way it is, in my opinion, I don't really think it had anything to do with the gambling. Like that the NFL is just going to have a hard stance on this guy bet on his team. He's not playing in our league. Why would they have that stance? Hunter Deckers didn't get suspended. He's been on the Saints practice squad for 2 years. Kayshon Boutte, it came out after he was drafted that some of the bets he placed were on LSU, his own team. He never got suspended. Hell, he wants a trade from New England right now. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I think what it had everything to do with the NFL team saying, we'll give him a shot, but we're not giving up a draft asset from him. He's the only guy we're really looking for, and he's the only guy who's really going to be available kind of in the supplemental draft. You give up a draft. They just don't have one. That way you're not even tempted. Why would we give up a future asset for a player who we bring in and we don't know if he's going to be suspended or any of those things? Now, I mean, Deckers and Boutte weren't, but you don't know. So it's just easier not to have the draft. I forget the NFL supplemental draft is a thing. I really do. So that makes sense. If I'm Brendan Sorsby, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to play in the UFL. Because I got news for you. If they're not going to give up a draft asset for you in the supplemental draft, they're probably not going to in April either. You're probably going to be an undrafted free agent. Just like Hunter Decker's was, because all of his stuff was public before the draft. So the Saints signed him as a UDFA. He's on and off the practice squad. They sign him back again this offseason. Like, that feels like the path for a guy like Brendan Sorsby if he just focuses on the draft, unless he goes and plays in the UFL. And you might say, Musso, UFL probably doesn't want him either. No, they do. The co-owner of that league has publicly invited Brendan Sorsby to come play in the UFL. So Brendan Sorsby, go play in the UFL for a year. Your season will be done. That's been a really good proving ground for players to get back into the NFL or just get an opportunity in the NFL. And that actually might be a path for you into the NFL draft. For me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Go do that. Show you can play professional football. I do think one of the funniest things was the CFL coming out and being like, no, we don't need him. Because it's like, you know what that felt like? That felt like last football season when all the SEC teams were firing their coaches like mid-season, and then out of nowhere, Arkansas just randomly in the middle of the week was like, Sam Pittman, you're fired. It's like Arkansas was like, hey, guys, we want to participate too. That's kind of what it felt like with the CFL being like, we're good, Brendan Sorsby. It's like, CFL, I think he was probably good too, if we're being honest. With all due respect to the CFL. It always felt like if there was going to be another professional league he went to, it was the UFL. And now they've extended the invitation. So look, you did the right thing here, Brendan Sorsby. You finally accepted responsibility for your actions here today, Wednesday, June 30th. Should have been done months ago, but you finally did that. Hand in the air. My bad, guys. That's against the rules. I broke them. Not going to sue the NFL either. They aren't going to have a supplemental draft. That's fine. That's cool. Sorry. My bad. I'm going to focus on my future in April and the draft. So here you go, Brendan Sorsby. Go play in the UFL, enter the draft, see if you can start your career, man. I'm not sitting here and telling you that Brendan Sorsby should never play football again. You have too many guys who have had the gambling, problems follow them around that are in the NFL right now. So sure. Now college football, yeah, he should have never been allowed to ever play that again because that's the sport you bet on. And if you do that, you should be banned. Just like, look, if he gets an opportunity, or I should say, when he gets an opportunity to go play in the NFL, and if he screws up and bets on that, he should be banned for life. But good on you, Brendan Sorsby. You took responsibility today. And you're moving on to the next phase of this. And you're leaving the courtroom behind. It's really good advice someone gave you there. Thank them and move forward and try to start your career. All right. It's AFR, presented by Sunshine, on a Tuesday here. Musso in for Moscona. We had Jake Madison on the show earlier, giving a primer for NBA free agency, which is now 43 minutes old. And we talked about free agents for the Pelicans that were on the team that they could re-sign. One of them that Jake Madison mentioned was DeAndre Jordan. And, well, here you go. 17 minutes ago from Shams, free agent DeAndre Jordan has agreed to a deal to return to the New Orleans Pelicans for his 19th NBA season. So DeAndre Jordan, as Jake Madison talked about a little more than an hour ago right here on this show, will re-sign with New Orleans. He was a veteran that a lot of players took to, including some of the established veterans on the team, like Trey Murphy, like Zion Williamson. It doesn't even include the young guys like Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears. So that one makes an awful lot of sense. Oh, the Pelicans just seem stuck, man. I don't know if I've ever seen a 26-win team be so opposed to a rebuild. It's like, that's what you need to rebuild. You need to blow everything. It does not working. You have young stars now. Cut Zion loose. Build around your young stars and just embrace the rebuild. You're not good. You're not going to be good anyway. So just embrace the rebuild. Get as many draft picks as you can and build around your young core with players that complement them. So you don't have Queen and Zion on the floor at the same time doing the exact same thing. See if you can't actually make something out of this. But DeAndre Jordan, it's the first edition. I guess you'd call it an edition. He was already on the team. But first edition, he was a free agent. So first edition for the New Orleans Pelicans in free agency. And you know what? I like that. We'll pass along the terms of the deal, obviously, when we have those and they become public. All right, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side, wrap it up with Otterlock's big one for Otter last night. He's going back to the well, too, in the World Cup. We'll tell you about all those next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Ricky Gomez, who said Chris, his technician, was very professional and knowledgeable during the HVAC evaluation. He provided details and recommendations in a clear and concise manner. That's one of the things that always stands out. If you're having an issue with your AC or your heater, and River City's 1 Hour Air sends out a technician for an evaluation, they're going to explain your options to you. And that may sound simple, but none of it, I don't know anything about an HVAC, neither do you. Let's be honest. So whenever they go get up in your attic or they go look at your HVAC unit on the side of your house and they come talk to you, they're going to explain very clearly what's happening and your options to remedy it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 2025 Ram 1500 truck with $18,000 off MSRP plus 3.9% financing for 60 months. $18,000 off plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Telling you about River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com is the website if you're looking for work, or you may not even know you're looking for work. River Parish Contractors, you need to make this call. Call Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors because they got tons of work lined up. So you want overtime? They got as much overtime as you want. So you never have to. A lot of places want to hire, give you a good rate, but they don't want you to work overtime. Not at River Parish Contractors. They got as much overtime as you want to work. You want to work night shifts when it's cooler? You could do that. You want to work day shifts? Got it. Look, there's no rainouts. They have amazing benefits. They've got PTO. If you're a welder, pipe fitter, pipe cutter, you got to get in touch with my friends over at River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake or go to rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. Right there in Reserve, River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, wrapping up Tuesday edition of AFR's One Thing Left to Do. We wrap up the show with Otterlocks, but No Jimmy today. Couldn't get in touch with Jimmy today, but we do have his picks. So I'll go ahead and I will give those out to you now. Pretty big one that the Otter hit last night. A little draw, plus 500 draw in the World Cup. Cashed that ticket, did the Otter, and he's going back to the well with that. So let's just start with the World Cup. 2 bets on Mexico and Ecuador in the World Cup tonight. First, under 1.5, because, soccer. Under 1.5 in Mexico, Ecuador. And, as we said, back to the well. Plus 500 for that game to end in a draw between Mexico and Ecuador. From there, it is not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 baseball plays from the Otter. None of these games underway yet. So we start in Arlington with the Rangers. They are hosting the Cleveland Guardians. Otter likes the under in that game tonight. He gave it out at 8. See if I can get you a current number on that game. Let's see. Guardians, and I can't find it now. Okay, so that game just got underway. They're in the top of the first. Right now, it is 6.5. So maybe wait, see if that goes back up. But under 8 in Rangers Guardians. Of course, that's why you want to get the picks at the website. He likes the Twins on the money line tonight, minus $1.15. Twins are visiting the Astros. That's actually down to $1.10 now. So a little bit better number for you there. The Miami Marlins on the money line, minus $1.36. That game gets underway here shortly as well. See if I can get you a quick update on the number there. Now minus 141. So a little bit more juice potentially there, but he likes the Marlins. He likes the Braves, minus 145. Bravos, they host the Cardinals. That's now at 149. So about the same juice you're laying there. And then lastly, the Dodgers on the run line. Los Angeles Dodgers on the run line, minus 1.5. They face the Athletics on the road tonight. That run line's coming back at $1.17. So, quick recap. Mexico, Ecuador, under 1.5, and for the game to end in a draw. End in a draw is plus 500. He hit that last night. The under in the Rangers, Guardians, Twins on the money line, Marlins on the money line, Braves on the money line, Dodgers on the run line. Those are your Otter locks here on Tuesday, June 30th. We're getting set to get out of here, but first, Matt, with a word about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
Quick reminder about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best. If you are, gentlemen, thinking about popping the question and you're thinking about where am I going to go buy that diamond, I want you to consider this. There are places that will sell you man-made lab diamonds, but what are you buying? It's according to its makeup and characteristics, sure, diamond. But is it going to hold its value? Like, is that the way you want to say, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you? Go to Lee Michaels. Go to Lee Michaels. Walk in the door. Experience the thing I talk about all the time, which is the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations. Baton Rouge, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, Mississippi, Texas as well. 10 locations across 3 states. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her, gentlemen. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
All right, that's just about going to put a button on today's show, man. Good show. Jam-packed show here for a Tuesday. Thanks to Jake Madison for hopping on with us a little bit early. We did miss Shay today. Shay's going to be with us on tomorrow's show. He just had a conflict, needed to reschedule. So it kind of works out. I mean, look, it's just tomorrow, Wednesday is decision day for Jaden Anding. So we'll be able to have Shay on to break that down, preview Davion Jones, and just talk kind of all things recruiting. So miss Shay today, but he'll join us tomorrow on Wednesday. So looking forward to that conversation as well. Plenty of LSU football, plenty of Saints. If you missed anything, catch it on demand. AFR on demand presented by Brett Goff. YouTube, AFR LSU, AFR Saints. Podcast, just search After Further Review. There's also an AFR LSU, AFR Saints page there too. So anything you missed on the show, you can find on podcast. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you to Braxton. Thank you to Cassie here as well for hanging out today. It's weird. It happens every year. This is kind of just the point in the calendar where this show gets thrown into gets really thrown into flux because I'm out, Paul's out, Matt's out. We go like a 3-week stretch without all three of us being here at one time. So appreciate the help, obviously, from you guys as well, so we can keep things on the tracks there. So that's just about going to do it here for today's show. Again, as we said, Shay will be with us tomorrow. See if there's any updates with NBA free agency as well. You know, we already told you the Pelicans re-signed DeAndre Jordan, so they're working their way there as well. But for now, we'll sign off for today. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, Braxton, Cassie, thank you very much. Be here next time for more. We're back at 3 o'clock on Wednesday for AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, commercial or residential. As a matter of fact, Parish Restoration, I love the process, by the way. If you go to the website at parishrestoration.com, you can see videos of their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. So you see exactly what it looks like. Very cool. But they have fogged, over at Parish Restoration, they fogged one of the largest buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. So it doesn't matter if it's your office building, your church, whatever it may be, school, or your home. They can even fog your car. Maybe your car has a weird odor, musty smell. Maybe you bought a used car from a smoker and you can't get that smoky smell out. This will do it. They'll come while you're at work, fog it. By the time you're done with work for the day, boom, you're back in a clean-smelling, fresh-smelling vehicle. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Do business with someone you know. Parishrestoration.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic butter spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite.